The podcast is me, America. There's the Josiah.
It's me. Not E.
As a tier list.
Yep, tier list.
Is a top. It is a tier list of our favorite games. Between me, Jackson, and Chandler, but Chandler's not here. So.
He's not here. So we're gonna be filling in for him by ranking the games that he put on here that we have played. We haven't played these, so Harmon Boi, you're gonna get to grade these later. Smiley face. But yeah, we got a pretty good selection here. I'd say so myself. If I say so myself, I do.
You do. You did. You are.
Some of these games I haven't played. Some of these games E probably hasn't played. I can't speak for him. But all in all, this is gonna be fun.
Yes.
I hope.
Very.
Indeed. So you know what a tier list is if you've been on this channel for a while. We rank it best to worst. We're gonna make it harder on ourselves because we will have a top 3 category this time. So there's gonna be some
all of them are
conflict.
going to be my games because all of my favorite games are the best games ever.
Debatable. We'll see. And then obviously we have S to F, and then we have worst. And I think we should only do 3 in this category if it can be helped. But yeah, so this is gonna be a lot of fun, I hope. This might be a debate podcast, but that's okay. And without further ado, let's go ahead and hop in. So the first one we have is Apex, which I'm not gonna lie, I have mixed feelings about this game.
I also have mixed feelings about this game.
It's got that Destiny 2 curse, you know, which I can talk about Destiny 2 for hours. I won't, promise. But it's just got these moments where it's not fun at all. And
yeah,
right now, and for the past 4 seasons, it's been that way for me.
I haven't played in quite a while, just because it's just another BR.
Yeah, and I mean, there isn't anything wrong with BRs. It's just all BRs are so different, and I feel like some BRs just BR better. This just feels like if Overwatch had a Battle Royale game mode.
Basically, yeah.
That's what this feels like to me. But I mean, overall, it's not a bad game.
Yeah, like in
all
and of
things
itself,
considered.
it's not a bad game. But when you consider like other BR games, it's just not a great choice.
It doesn't feel the same.
I mean, sure, there are definitely worse BR games.
Right. And I guess one thing is every BR game is going to have tryhard players, right? That's just an inevitable.
Right.
But I feel like with Apex specifically, the tryhards are more, there's more of them. And in some cases, I feel like they try harder than most. I mean, they're not the try-hardest tryhards, but there are a few that are very tryhard.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, again, you're going to find tryhards in every game, but I just feel like there's more in Apex than there are in others. So, I don't know. This might be a bit controversial. I kind of want to put it in C.
Yeah, I think C or D is where I would put it. But
Okay. So it's not that controversial between us, at least.
yeah.
Also, if you get offended by this tier list, cry about it. I don't care. Barony. I have not played this game literally at all. So E, this is all you.
All right. So, Barony. Barony is a dungeon crawler, like really like retro style kind of dungeon crawler with a sort of like D&D style class and race system. It is very fun. It is also it's procedurally generated, so it like you'll always have different rooms. But yeah, it's very replayable. There's a bunch of different classes that you can use if you want to like switch things up or whatever. It's yeah. So yeah, it's.
I'm gonna order a pizza here
It,
in a minute.
the,
You want what's on?
It doesn't matter. I'm not too picky with pizza.
Okay.
So that's my roommate. Yeah, is this? I don't know. I haven't played this game, but is this the one that you and King Syro played?
yes, yeah.
Okay.
We played this a lot. We
So
recently got.
I've seen gameplay of it then.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun.
It's got that older style of game too.
Yeah. It's and recently, or we recently started playing it again a lot more because our roommates also got it, and it's had like a bunch of updates since we last played it, and so it's actually better. It has a really good UI. It's not like overly complicated, but like it has everything you need to find in there. So yeah, it's just a good game. It's well made. A lot of love was obviously put into it. It's really funny at times. So yeah, I'm not gonna say it's a top 3 though.
Okay.
It does it, but I would probably put it A or S.
A or S? All right. Like low S, high A? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay. I've seen gameplay and it does look really cool. I will say I do kind of wish it was a bit more free roam and not like square to square.
Right.
I think for that, A tier. Unless you disagree.
Well,
I mean, you've played the game more.
Yeah, I'm wondering what you mean by square to square.
This might not be the game I'm thinking of. Is this the one where like?
Oh wait. Oh, you're thinking of the Might and Magic. Might and Magic 10. That was the one where you have like a party of 4, right?
Oh yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so I'm thinking
that
of
was
a different game.
a different game. Yeah,
okay,
that was
my
a different
bad.
game.
So is this more free roam then?
It is, yes.
Okay. I don't know. It's hard for me to judge. I'll let you pick. High A or low S?
I'll say low S.
Low S. Okay. So that one's really all you. Beat Saber. Ooh.
Beat Saber is so much fun.
Do we even have to decide where this goes? This is an S tier.
Yeah, it's definitely S tier, maybe top 3, maybe.
I want to hold off on putting Beat Saber in top 3. I think.
Yeah, we should definitely hold off on top 3 until probably the end of it.
Although I don't disagree that it's definitely super high.
Definitely a contender.
It's fun to mod. It's fun to play bass. It's good for you. One of the few that's on here that's not really that bad. It's VR, so it's a bit limited, I guess.
Yeah, but like that's something that I actually really like about Beat Saber is that there's a lot of VR games that try to give you too much freedom. To be honest, I like how Beat Saber keeps you in one spot and you don't really have to move. Like you're not like in this free roam area where you don't really, you just have so many places to go to where it's like yeah.
Yeah, and that was like one of my big things with like Blade and Sorcery was that problem alone. Free roaming in games is always good, but free roaming in VR games is really not the greatest.
Yeah, it's simply just because it feels weird.
Yeah, because it's like the entire point of VR. It's almost immersion breaking because the whole point is that you are the person in control, and when your control is you standing still and your character in game running forward, it's bizarre.
Yeah,
but Beat Saber doesn't do that. Beat Saber does a great job. Also, I'm a sound geek. I love the sounds. I love music.
Oh yeah. That's the other reason why I love Beat Saber is I'm a big music fan, and just being able to like play a game to music, which like really good music, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
It's
Beat Saber Company, if you're listening to this for whatever reason, hit up Exel. Please put his songs on Beat Saber.
Please,
That would be
please get
awesome.
Exel on Beat Saber.
I'm sure he or she is what's X? I'm sure they would be fine with it.
Yeah.
Also, Exel's funny.
Exel is hilarious. I love
Exel,
Exel.
if you're watching this for whatever reason, hey, how's it going?
How's it going?
Anyways, yeah, Beat Saber, easy yes. Black Ops 2.
I haven't played it, so
Okay.
this is on me.
See, my thing is, I've only played the zombies mode,
Okay.
and
Oh wait, then maybe I have played a little bit of it because I've also only played the zombies mode. Or, actually, wait, no, I just played COD Zombies. It was just called Zombies. So yeah. Never
okay.
mind.
And this might be a hot take. I think Black Ops 2 Zombies is the best when it comes to like combat flow. It feels like it works the best.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple things I don't like that much. I don't like the dolphin dive very much. I know that some people do. But I like the zombies mode a lot more. I think 2 hits to go down is a lot better than 3. But the only issue is the maps are so bad. I mean, so like maps like Buried are really good, don't get me wrong, but they're either ridiculously difficult to play in like an annoying way, or they're just easy. But also, this is kind of an entire generation of people, so I feel like it'd be a disservice to put it too low. I kind of want to just put it in A and say, you get this more out of respect than anything.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Black Ops 3, same deal, but a little bit worse. I like the movement in this one more, but same deal. Agree, disagree?
I haven't played either.
Okay.
So I am wondering. So I'm guessing one of you chose Black Ops 2 and the other chose Black Ops 3.
I chose 3, and I think Harmon Boi chose 2.
Okay. Because I thought that it would be kind of weird if one of you chose both of those games.
No.
Yeah.
I tried to make, like, take a pick from different things. Obviously, I didn't do too well because there's 3 Dragon Ball ones on here. But, you know. Cooking Companions.
Cooking Companions.
One of the first games we played on this channel, funny enough.
Mm-hmm. And also one of the only games that we played on this channel with a bunch of other people, aka like Nick and
with
and
almost
Tristan
all
and
the Sword Bros there.
Yeah, almost, yeah.
Or all of the current gen, at least.
Yeah.
I really liked Cooking Companions.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was freaky. It was good. I'm pretty content with how the voices were.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of nostalgia to think back, like, this was the first game that we completed on this channel. But also, I feel like it could have done better. That we were still learning, and there were a lot of issues, and we haven't even finished the game.
Yeah, because there's just kind of a confusing amount of extra stuff.
Yeah. So this might be one that we go back and visit one day. But narratively, I love visual novels. And this is especially like horror visual novels. And this did really well.
I mean, we'll see later what we'll see later that you love horror visual novels.
Yeah, people who know me, people who know me at all know what's coming up.
I mean, if you need a hint, just look at your profile picture.
If you need a hint, I don't think my YouTube channel has has it as my PFP, but every other instance of me having a PFP is that game. You'll know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Cooking Companions, I don't know. I really liked it, but I also think since it could have done better and we didn't play it all the way through, I kind of think B is a good spot.
Yeah, I think the story was great. I feel like the writing was a little bit off. Like
Yeah,
it was a little bit bland.
They were trying to, like, I can see what they were trying to do. They were trying to show desperation, but it's hard to show desperation when, you know, it's also kind of a relation game. You become friends with all these characters and then doesn't matter. So, I don't know. I kind of think just B. Also, it wasn't long enough.
True.
Dark Deity.
Dark Deity.
So, funny story with this one. I had not heard a thing about this game. And then
Me neither.
I met E like a year ago, and he didn't know anything about this game. And then as he and I got to know each other better, out of nowhere, this game arrives. And I feel like, apart from us streaming everything together, this was the game that I felt like connected you and I the most.
Yeah. No, honestly, it's really funny because like it was a free Epic game for a week, and I have no idea why. Because it's not like it's a game that really anyone would recognize. I mean, obviously it has a fan base, but like it's not something that would be like recognizable by most people.
If I threw up a picture of like Bianca, no one would know who that is.
No one would know. But like I saw that it was like a strategy tactics RPG, and I was like, you know what? This game looks pretty fun. And so I opened it up, and it's like I saw that it was like, you know, it had dialogue and stuff. I'm like, you know what? We finished doing Doki Doki. What if we did this next?
Yep.
And so I stopped playing it specifically so that we could start a playthrough. And that was so much fun.
I feel like this is what cemented our voice acting too. Because I mean, like obviously, like what you said with DDLC and like Cooking Companions and stuff, we had done voice acting, but
yeah,
it
but
never
since
felt
there's
like,
just so
it never felt like our element until this game, you know?
Yeah, because like since there's so many characters, we had to like come up with new voices like almost on the spot.
Yes.
And yeah, so yeah, it's one of the games that made me realize how much I really liked voice acting.
Indeed.
And also like, you know, D&D and that
yeah, and
in that
strategy
same
games.
sense. Yeah.
And I mean, even besides that, there were so many jokes that you and I got out of this game.
Oh yeah,
the big one for me
it's a
being
treasure trove.
Yeah, the big one for me being the Goblin voice, which people who have heard the Goblin voice, that's like all they know me for. But it's just that game for us, and just for that, I almost want to put it like just below Beat Saber. I think I'm going to.
Yeah,
this game was amazing.
Yeah, super fun game. Really, the only problem with it is it can be buggy.
I should probably go check that. I heard an explosion in the other room.
Oh.
1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry about this. E, can you keep the lovelies at home entertained?
Okay, yeah. I'll just continue what I was saying. So, what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. I'll figure it out eventually. Oh yeah, the bugs. It is rather buggy, but it almost makes like some of the bugs are kind of annoying, but usually they just make the game more funny, and it's just it's great. It's good stuff. I'm yeah. I have nothing more to say on the subject, but um uh, uh you know what I mean?
I'm back.
Welcome back.
My sweet mate's
Did you
whiteboard
die?
fell down. No, it's fine.
Oh,
It like fell off of its thing. He's out of town. We'll tell him it just fell when he gets back.
Hmm.
That or we'll blame someone and it'll be funnier.
Yep.
Anyways, sorry about that. What we got next? Dead by Daylight. Can I just put it there?
Yeah, you can. You definitely
Okay.
can.
this
Everyone
is
agrees.
This is a weird one for me. I had joined the DBD the DBD community really late.
Yeah.
And I mean it's an awesome concept, right? It's
Mhm.
you know, it's basically Among Us, but you know who the imposter is, but you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's unique until it stopped being unique.
Yeah. It's also a very fun game to watch,
But not to play.
but not to play. Yeah. It's I played it once at Zane's house, and to be honest, neither role is fun. It's
It's almost like watching Fortnite players, right? Like Fortnite can be fun to play, but it's way more fun to watch people play.
mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I don't think it deserves title of worst, but
No.
yeah. So, F tier. And if you disagree with this, go outside
Bad.
because you need to.
I mean, to be honest, Dead by Daylight is kind of dying, so I don't think a lot of people would disagree with you.
That's true. Okay. Listen.
Yep.
Listen.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you.
I
This is fine.
can't put into words how much DDLC means to me, really. And I know when I introduce people to this game, when people ask, "Hey, what kind of games do you like?" and I say, "Oh, have you heard of this
DDLC.
game called
Only
Doki
DDLC.
Doki Literature Club?" I get looks. I do. People look at me. It's like, weeb, weirdo, whatever, right? And do I blame them? Not really. The title alludes to nothing of what this game is. If you've
Not to mention the pictures that, like the title screen picture and stuff like
and
that.
this image
Doesn't
people would
really
be
help.
like, I don't know. And what's funny is when I first played this game, it was the same deal. I don't know if I've told you the story, but I'm going to tell it here. I had a friend who at the time was huge into anime, right? And he's a great guy. I haven't talked to him in a while, but he heard about this game and he got it day one. And he didn't read the tags or anything. He was like, "Oh, free anime game? Say less." So he got it. And then he invited me over to play it that night.
Okay.
Or I think I was already planning to go over to his place, but he had got this before I got there.
Okay.
So we played it that night. We opened it up. It was like 7. It was late in the day. But we opened it up. I was like 13 too. I was way younger at that time. And it is an experience. I would there's the argument or the question, like, if you could forget memories of one thing and then experience them for the first time again, what would it be? This game is my game. My choice. Because spoilers for anyone who somehow hasn't seen or played or heard anything about this game.
Go watch. Just go watch the playthrough that we already have
Actually,
on
yeah.
the channel.
Go watch our playthrough. We did a stream on the anniversary, which is coming up again, funny enough. That one's not recorded.
Got to do another stream.
But we have part 2. Yeah. Go watch our playthrough. And you'll understand. The playthrough has to be censored, sadly. So you won't get the full experience. Actually, go play the game. It's free. It's free on Steam. Go play it. it's mind open. Like this game, I could talk about it all day. I'm not going to for the sake of time, but I can. That's one thing I'm going to do at some point is I'm going to make a video about this game specifically and why it's great. And obviously people will disagree with me, and I don't blame them. That's fine. They can if they want, but play the game.
But they'd be wrong.
They'd be wrong. Sorry, I kind of took the wheel there. E, do you have anything to say about this game?
So, I think DDLC was probably the first game that I quote unquote played, because technically you don't really play visual novels. But anyway, this was the first visual novel that I played with, and it was with Jackson. And it was also, as you know, alongside Dark Deity, part of the reason why I love voice acting so much. It was a lot of fun. So many inside jokes with that playthrough is so funny.
Yeah, we made a lot.
Not one of which being off-screen Papyrus was the narrator.
Oh, yes!
Which was,
I don't think that's in our playthrough, is it? That might be just a you and I thing.
yeah, no, that was just on our playthrough, like not streamed. That was so funny.
Yeah. And again, like what you said, along with Dark Deity, this is kind of what brought us together, not just in voice acting, but also just as friends, I feel. We're these two. You know what? Actually, I think I moved Dark Deity up. It's hard to put it over Beat Saber, but it's not too hard, But yeah, these two games, yeah. I'm gonna say it one more time just before we move on. Play this game. Don't look anything up.
Absolutely.
Don't spoil yourself. Don't watch anyone else play it unless you don't have the money or a PC that can play Steam. But if you have a PC that can play Steam, play this game. It's free. It's 5 hours long, and there's one button to it.
Are there PCs that can't play Steam?
I don't know. Probably anything 20 years old.
I'm sure you could get Steam on like a 1970s computer.
Maybe. I don't know. So now you have less of an excuse.
I'm sure it could run DDLC because how little space it takes up.
Yeah.
Because it's a visual novel.
It's a visual novel. But seriously, play this game. Play it with friends. Don't look anything up. Skip all the warnings. Play the game.
Playing it by yourself is also fine, but with friends just makes it so much better.
Indeed. All right. We'll move on before we talk about this for the rest of the night. Deltarune. This is a toughie. Okay. E, how much Deltarune have you played?
I have not played Deltarune. I know very little about Deltarune. Yes, I know.
We're gonna fix that. Deltarune it's an experience. So this was, I don't want to say this was like the successor to Undertale, but it kind of is. The creator, Toby Fox, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to make games. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say it isn't a sequel, but it is the successor.
Yes. It's not, the worlds have nothing to do with each other. You'll see a character, but it's not the same character. And technically you don't have to play Undertale to fully understand Deltarune.
Right. Until you see stands in Deltarune. It's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen.
Until you see something that's in Undertale, and you're like, wait a minute.
Like he's like, because there's chapters to Deltarune, right?
Yep,
like,
there's 2 right now, and then 3, 4, and 5 have been announced, not released. Okay. No release date yet, but we know that they're coming.
You're going to find sands in the future in Deltarune. It's just gonna happen. I'm sorry that I spoiled it for you, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah, a bit of a secret for a lot of people out there. LordSaintMerica and Toby Fox are actually the same person.
Yeah, I am Toby Fox.
He's Toby Fox. That's how good he is with music.
I have done a little bit of work with music, actually.
Oh yeah,
Not a lot.
Neat.
I'll show you later.
All right, but speaking of music, Deltarune's got bops. It's got some good themes in it.
Yeah, if there's one thing that I know is I've heard Deltarune songs and they're good.
Big shot. That's the big one. No pun intended. But there are a couple things with Deltarune. First off, when it first released, it was a little too different from Undertale, and I feel like that pushed a lot of people away, me included. I was not super fond of Deltarune when it first came out, and even still to this day, I'm not the biggest fan of Chapter 1, but Chapter 2 really cemented what Toby had envisioned for the game, and it fixed the game. It fixed every problem and then added to the solution. So where Deltarune stands right now, I almost want to say S. But only problem being is it's an older game. It's still getting updates, but it's been out for a few years now. And I know that Toby's working through a lot. He's got like wrist problems and stuff now, so that does slow down the game, and all of its progression and all that. Like, you know, with release dates and stuff. But I feel like this game is not really long enough to have cycles of waiting that long. And I know with his recent planning, 3, 4, and 5 are all going to come out like back to back to back. And then 6 and 7 are going to wait, and that'll supposedly be the end. But as of where it stands right now, it's good. It is a not really a must play, but it is a play it if you can. If you like narrative storytelling, which the story in this game is deep. It's got a surface level, it's got some basics to it, but it's got so much lore and all of these theories, and that's what I find fun about this. Do you have anything you want to say?
No, music is good.
Music is good. You know, for music, it gets bottom of S.
Okay.
Destiny 2. Oh, man.
Yeah.
This is
there are some words to happen.
Yeah. I will admit, recently, at the time of this recording, like 3 days ago, new season dropped. I've been enjoying it so far. Final Shape teaser dropped. That looks exciting. And they're changing a lot, but with the history that this game has had, I feel like I'd be doing an injustice to a lot of these games to say that Destiny 2 is better. And that is not to say that I hate the game. I love the game. I can't speak for everyone else, but I know a lot of the other people in the Sword Bros have stopped playing it. And, you know, that's their opinion and I respect it. And they have reasons, and that's fine. And I can see why. Brockus brought up the point of everything being too expensive, and that is a problem with this game. But also, I can't in half good conscience put this game too low, because this game is what started my love for FPS. It is the first game that I put like an unreasonable amount of time into, apart from like Terraria. And to put the cherry on top, this is the reason that Sword Bros exists. If it weren't for Destiny, the only friend I would have right now is Harmon Boi. The only friend. And just for that alone, for what this game has done for me outside of just being the game, I have to put it at least A tier.
So, yeah, like you said, current state of the game, I find it to be unplayable, simply because if you don't pay absurd amount of money, then you don't really get a good experience with it. And if you do pay an absurd amount of money for it, you get a good experience, but also you paid an absurd amount of money.
Yes.
However,
and what makes it worse is the past couple of months, you've been paying a lot of money and not been getting a good experience. And that's the biggest problem with this game.
Mm-hmm. That being said, this game has it. You can't really say that a game is bad because of its current state. Destiny 2 has been so much fun, and I've played a lot of it. Obviously, not as much as some people. Anyway, but obviously, this was the game that I got introduced to Jackson through. Actually, technically, I wasn't playing Destiny 2 because Destiny 2 wasn't cross-platform when
Yeah, it wasn't.
when I met you. And
But
also,
it was about to become cross-platform.
no one really played PC except for me. So yeah, technically, we just met because I joined the Xbox party while you guys were playing Destiny because I was bored. But yeah,
and boy, what this game is that made.
This game is obviously the first game that I played with Jackson. It is also the first game that I played. Honestly, I didn't play a lot of games with Nick and Zane and Tristan outside of like D&D or like hanging out at their at like each other's houses. We didn't really play a lot of games together because I had a PC and they had Xbox. I think this was the first game that I played online with like the whole friend group. And it's been so much fun, and I can't hate it. I'm not allowed to.
You can hate what it is now, but you can't hate what it was or what it has done.
Right.
I agree.
And I would absolutely play it again if other people would just stop being so annoyed at some things. Like, I don't know. If everyone started playing it again, I would absolutely play it. It would be so much fun. But the fact that even just two people, it's just kind limited. Of not. Yeah, it's too limited. So yeah, that's the reason why I don't play it anymore. But I would absolutely play it again.
Right. So yeah, we're kind of in the same boat here. But and again, like what you said, if we do based off the current state of the game, it's here.
Right.
But
probably
based off
maybe even worse than Dead by Daylight.
Maybe even. But what it has done for us, like by itself, it's here. So as a middle ground, we're putting it here. Well, yes. We'll do that.
Okay.
I think that's fair. Because like what we've been saying, there's more to this game for us specifically than there is just gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Don't comment that on. Oh my goodness. So I've been playing this game for 8 years now. I got it when it first came out. It was not my first Dragon Ball game, but it was my second. And I do think I've got more hours in this game than I do most other games I own. This might be the game I have the third highest amount of hours in. Hey, what's up?
Is that Black Ops 2?
Yeah.
It's that low?
Maybe.
Top 3 game.
My roommate just walked in and saw the tier list. But this game, I mean, it's always been more casual for me. I mean,
no, it's a very casual game.
yeah, for some, I mean, I know for some, like, you got some people out there that spend thousands of dollars yearly on this game, and that's insane to me.
Yearly
Even, yeah. Sometimes even monthly. with certain people, it's monthly, and that's an even bigger problem. And I guess that's the big problem with this game is it's gotcha. You know, it's basically gambling, but
yeah,
it's super casual at the same time. I can talk about this game for a lot longer.
Casual game.
Yeah, I only got E into this recently.
Mm-hmm.
Like how recently? Like 2 weeks. Maybe even less than that.
Yeah, probably.
Well,
probably like two or three.
2 or 3 weeks. So he's not been playing it very long. But it's casual. It's not meant to be, you know, played super hard every day. And if you play it super hard every day, that's fine. That's more power to you. But for what this game is to me, I you know,
or probably less power because you're probably not,
or less, yeah, or less power. What this game is to me, this is what, you know, this is one of my favorite games. That's why it's on this tier list at all. And it's, I don't know. It's weird because with how much time I've put into this game, I really don't have that much to say about it. It's pretty. It's got good music, you know. It's constantly getting updates every 2 weeks, sometimes sooner. And it's just it's you've always got something to do.
Yeah.
And
like it's definitely one of those games where it's like it's something that you can do to, it's a time waster. You can use it to just waste time if you want. And like, you know, like watch a video in the background or whatever. It's not like something that you just like have to really pay attention to.
Yeah, it's a game that you can play without having to really play it. But at the same time, still being fun. If you want to focus more on this game, you can. You can appreciate the music or, you know, the animation or whatever. But if you are still wanting a game that you can play while having to prioritize other things, this game's still good for you because it's not a game that requires much focus. It's a bubble popper, essentially. It's easy and it's, you know, it's simple and it's fun at the same time. It's a good mix of what a game, like a mobile game, should be.
Yeah.
The address is going to be...
With that being said,
Give me 1 second.
it's actually really hard to rank because of that. And
1.9.
This game does have dry spells, as most games that have constant updates tend to do. And my opinion of this game has changed a lot. I would say, if we're taking it at the worst of the worst, it's bottom C. If we're taking it at the best of the best, it's just below Beat Saber.
Yes.
Yeah.
And with how much it fluctuates and how different the experience is every time a new update comes out, it's hard to rank it.
I'll just come down and grab it.
So I don't know where to put it. I think a safe thing to do would be bottom S, just because the game is always changing, but it's still always fun. Even in the dry spells. The dry spells are just where there's a lack of hype and a lack of new things to try, but there's still things to do.
Yes. Yeah.
Any objections?
AADE.
I don't think so. No. I think it's I've been having fun with it, and it's not really something that like it's hard for a game that you know nothing about to be fun, and it is fun. So I think
that's another thing. Is
kudos go to that game.
He knows nothing about Dragon Ball, but
No,
he's still enjoying it, and that's what's cool. Is you don't have to A lot of the people I introduced this game to don't even know what Dragon Ball is.
Okay.
But it's just that simple, because you don't have to know the characters per se, because,
Large.
you know, unlike most games where it's, oh, this character is canonically stronger than this character in their franchise, therefore they're stronger than this character in all the games. This game isn't like that. Because you'll have characters at the end of the most insane series be weaker than,
Okay.
like,
You.
characters that were in the first episode. But yeah, I'm content with where it is right now, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot.
Okay. Three houses. I feel like you're gonna have to talk a lot more about this one than I can.
Yeah.
Because I'm still on my first playthrough with E, and I'm enjoying it so far. I've been intrigued. The characters are fun to voice, but I still don't know a whole lot. So
Okay, so Fire Emblem is actually kind of a new series for me. Fire Emblem Three Houses is the second Fire Emblem game that I've played, my first being Fire Emblem Awakening. A lot of people who know Fire Emblem hate Fire Emblem. The Fire Emblem community does not like Fire Emblem, which I think is dumb. I understand. No, actually, yeah, I understand why it is, and here's why. It's because they want Fire Emblem to be a specific way, and each person has like their own idea of how Fire Emblem should be played. Just because there's so many Fire Emblem games that do things differently, and I think that's why so many people hate Fire Emblem is because like they had one good experience with a Fire Emblem game and every other Fire Emblem was just disappointing to them. But I'm not gonna go around saying, "Oh, but I'm more sophisticated than them." But I will say that I have more of an open mind towards games that are in the same series, because like it, I understand that this is more of like a difference between times, but like there are Zelda games that are so completely different from each other, but are so much fun in their own respect. And so yeah, so with Fire Emblem Three Houses, um, it focuses a lot on specific choices, like in the story rather than in the like meat and potatoes like gameplay. The gameplay itself, like the maps are fine. There you sometimes you have characters that you can make really good, and then there's always going to be some characters that are going to be like just mediocre, but none of them are exactly like tossaways. But yeah, the gameplay itself, it's fine. It's not the best in the series from what I know of the series, but it's not like it's the worst. It's a good Fire Emblem game. The characters are funny and uh they're interesting. You're not going to have three-dimensional characters, or like you're not going to have three-dimensional personalities for each and every unit in your army. I think that's just that's unreasonable to look at when you have so many characters in this game. So yeah, as it stands, it is a very good Fire Emblem game.
right, and again, I only just started playing this recently with E, so I haven't gotten a full playthrough. But everything that we've had playthrough, that we have had already gotten done, it's been fun. Even if a lot of the story I don't understand or I can only theorize about, and even if we don't pick the best route, it's entertaining. And what's fun about it for us, or for me at least, I can't speak for E, is the idea that we get to make it happen almost. And not everyone will play like that. We turn off voices for games that give us the option to, because we like to insert our own voices. And I feel like when we voice the characters, it gives them more character than they already are. A prime example would be like you do Marianne in this game, and
Yes.
I mean, it shows in her design and like her, how she acts, that she is shy. But and while I haven't heard the in-game voice, the way that you have voiced her is how I hear her voice in my head. Maybe not exactly, but it is a rough estimate of how it would sound to me. And it makes her feel more alive, I guess, because now I know that with how you've portrayed her is as accurate as it is, and also at the same time being as it's genuine and accurate, but also it feels like it's more attached to us. And that's what I love about games that let you voice the characters, which is why DDLC's up here. And
Yeah.
well, this game doesn't have any voice acting, but I mean, you know what I mean.
That's why it's at F, is because it doesn't have voice acting. If I could voice Michael Myers, oh gosh, I want to imagine.
Yeah. Can't imagine Michael having any kind of voice other than not having one at all. But I don't know. I feel like this was a good game. Like after what we did with Dark Deity, we did the same thing. And as fun as it was to do Dark Deity, and as fun as I would say that Dark Deity and DDLC were to voice, it wasn't really like we completed these games and it sparked our love for voice acting, but it was really during our Three Houses series so far that I found that voice acting a character makes you feel more attached to them and makes you feel almost more confident in how that character's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I haven't played it, so all of the gameplay and story and all that's all on E because he has. But with my experience so far, this game has been enjoyable, and I feel like any player, Fire Emblem player or not, even if you hate the series, it's more fun to fill the role of these characters than it is to just let the characters be themselves.
Yeah.
Not like in some kind of... Sorry, you go ahead.
To be honest, we're kind of better off doing the voices ourselves, because one thing I will say for Fire Emblem games, or I guess against voice acting, I don't know who they get for their voice actors, but it's okay at best. They don't do the best job.
Oh, okay.
Not saying that I'm like a better voice actor, but it's
Right,
more fun for me to voice act.
We're not trying to put down
myself.
people who have a degree in voice acting, but also
a degree in voice.
It's not, it's just different. It's a better experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said and done,
even compared to
with that being said and done, I don't know where to put it, but I do want to put it above Cooking Companions at the very least. So where do you think this would be fair to put?
I would say, how would you compare it to Deltarune?
To Deltarune, you see, that's the thing, is I've played through Deltarune and I haven't played through this, and the voices in Deltarune, again, that's what's fun about the Toby Fox games, is none of the characters have voices, whether you want them to or not. There are, headcanon voices, and everyone agrees that Sans is deeper voiced and kind of New Yorker-ish. But it's fun to give them the voice. And while I would say that both these games, when it comes to voice acting, are equivalent, I can't, because with Fire Emblem, you're given an idea of the voice. With Deltarune, it's almost entirely up to interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I think of voices for Deltarune, Susie comes to mind, who is, you know, like the manliest character in Deltarune, but is female. And any voice works for Susie. But in this game, since, you know, characters are established with emotion, and I think that's fine. I'm not saying characters can't have an established emotion. But you always try and theme the voice around the character's everything. I think Deltarune leaves that open to interpretation way more for voices because of how like distinct every design is and the fact that the only human character doesn't have any dialogue. It allows for more creativity. Well, I feel kind of limited voicing here because we try and keep them as human as possible. And I wish I could say more, because watching you play, I think I would put Fire Emblem gameplay above Deltarune, but then again, I also haven't played Three Houses myself, so I'm fine with putting it above Deltarune, though.
Okay, I was just wondering because like if you think you have more fun playing Three Houses than you do Deltarune, then we can put it above Deltarune. But if you have more fun with Deltarune than Three Houses, then we could probably put it below Deltarune.
I do like the combat in Deltarune a lot, though. I'll put it below Deltarune just because I'm more familiar with the game. But then again, you're not, so that kind of seems unfair.
No, that's fine. I'm not saying that like if you think that you would put Deltarune above Three Houses, then I trust that.
Okay, we can say it like this: Fire Emblem it's a tactical RPG, which it's fun, but it's also heavily. I mean, Dark Deity is the same thing. Yeah. Combat wise, these games are almost identical. There's not really any game like Deltarune or Undertale. I mean, there are other bullet hell games, but it's weird that it's almost like RPG.
It's a different bullet hell.
Turn-based. Yeah, it's different. It's unique. So I think, yeah, I think I'm going to put it below, but just barely. All right, that's a go all. We're actually nearing the hour mark already. Here, we'll do one more, and then we'll split this up into a two-parter. Maybe a three-parter if need be. Final Fantasy Tactics. I have not played this at all. I know nothing of it.
Okay.
So this is all you.
All right. So, Final Fantasy Tactics. Of the Rift, not the first.
I lost you there for a second. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Saying it is not the first tactical RPG that I've played. My first tactical RPG was the original Final Fantasy Tactics, just the first one for the PS1. That game is a lot of fun, but I feel like A2 is the same game, just better. It is just a better version of the game. The way you do, the story is really good. I really like the story. The world building is awesome. It goes really in depth on like how the Final Fantasy world like kind of is, like the different races and things like that. And like the different like, you know, like rules of the world as you know, I might call it. I don't know how else to explain it. But like, yeah. It's it's a really well laid out tactics game as well. It is my favorite tactics game, gameplay wise. I think probably in general, I do like it better than uh, Three Houses and Dark Deity. I think it is my favorite tactics. Maybe, definitely a contender for favorite game of all time.
Ooh.
It's Yeah, no, honestly, it's such a fun game. I wish that I need to find a way to show you this game because it is so much fun and it is very in depth. There's this job and skill system. Jobs are classes. It's That's what they're called in Final Fantasy. Their classes are called jobs, and so the way that the skills that you learn work is you you there's these pieces of equipment that you learn skills from by using those equipment, which I think is a really interesting way of doing it because it makes you really think about like what equipment you're using and what kind of skills you want to add to your characters. So yeah. Um, the only downside that it has to Three Houses and Dark Deity is that the army that you have is they're like they don't have personalities. Like they actually, unless a specific event requires them to say something, they will not say anything. And even if they do say something, it'll be like a basic like generic line.
Okay.
So yeah. But there's enough characters that have actual personality in the story that it doesn't really matter too much because you know you like you still have characters that are interesting and are fun to read out. It's just in the story rather than during the gameplay.
Right.
um I would put this
And-
top 3.
You'd put this top 3? Okay.
If it was just me saying it.
Well, I think that's fair because I mean we have my favorite game up here. It's fair to put your favorite game up here.
But yeah, I think it is definitely on the top 3 games for me. Maybe my favorite game. I'm still not sure. I'm not really good at like actually like figuring that out. But yeah, it is such a good game and we need to play it sometime.
Definitely.
If I can somehow figure out how we can do that.
I mean, how old the game is older, right? We could probably see if it's
Yeah,
like,
it's a pretty old game.
Like on an
it's for
emulator or something, maybe.
It could be. It's a DS game, not even 3DS. It's a
Oh,
or
then
actually,
yeah, we can find an emulator for that.
It might be 3DS. Let me check. I'll check later. It could be 3DS.
Hello?
Okay.
But yeah,
But
even
we can definitely
I'm
find
sure
an
there.
emulator for that.
Yeah, there's emulators for 3DS.
Alright, thank you. Let me down.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but this game is in Japanese, right?
No.
No? Okay.
I mean,
mean
like,
the
it's-
voice
it's
acting is rather,
Japanese,
not the.
No. There's
No?
not really
Oh.
voices. No, there's no voices in the game. There's like
Okay.
no.
Interesting. Well, that'll be a game. Yeah, that'll be a game we play, and who knows? Maybe it'll show up on the channel at some point. All right. Well, I think that was a pretty good note to end on. Sadly, we are going a little past an hour, so we are going to call it here. But hey, keep an eye out for part 2 because this has been a lot of fun so far. I love talking about things that we're passionate about, and I mean everyone does. But I mean, this is where a lot of I don't know. It's where I don't want to say it's where we found ourselves, but it kind of is in some cases. So yeah. Anyways, this has been a lot of fun. Yeah, if you're listening to this, which you have to be to hear this, like, comment, subscribe to Legendary YouTube stuff. We're trying to hit 50, preferably by the end of the year. I know it's possible. We're only 2 away at the time of this recording. We can do it. E, do we have any words of wisdom for the lovelies at home?
You are allowed to like games that you like.
Fire Emblem directed.
You're allowed to like it. You don't have to hate games that you like.
Yep, that is true. And then for me, always give a game a shot. Even if you end up not liking it, it's always better if you try the game and don't like it than not try it at all. Because with a couple of these, looking at it, I would have never tried these. But because I did, I ended up enjoying them way more than I thought I would. That might be the actual first words of wisdom, DOM, that we've ever said. Normally it's DUMB. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. We will see you all next time.
Bye. Yeah,
Bye.
Daddy.